All right, so I'm back with the jolly old Wiz for a bit of recreation, actually, because I just finished uploading 7 shoes. Was actually 6 shoes that didn't kick my arse, and one that did, to the tune of about $18,000. So I dumped that right quick and moved on to the next one, and promptly got a natural, a loss, and then another natural. So that turned me around in like boom, which is exactly what's supposed to happen. That's what nature always intended. But one of the things that constantly comes back to sort of nag at me is the fact that the vast majority of people just have no idea what they're up against. They don't understand that you really do have to have a sensible bankroll behind you, which is at least 1,000 times your minimum bet, because you're going to be going way up from your minimum bet from time to time, and you need to have backing for that. And even a spread of 1 to 1,000 will occasionally not be enough. So it's it's reality. I'm not sort of stretching truth here. I'm not offering an opinion. I'm giving you a fact, and that is that you have to have a lot of money behind you, along with a good betting strategy, or you can never beat these games. And it occurred to me that maybe it would be a little bit easier for people to grasp what I'm talking about if I said, okay, what sort of money do you think you would need to run a game of blackjack, a blackjack table, knowing that the house advantage is with you all the way? I mean, how much would you actually think you need to have that in that tray in front of you to be able to take you through? Let's say it's filled up with 6 people, okay? Keeping in mind that the odds are on your side, but you have to have money in front of you sufficient to cope with any kind of eventuality, because you know that sometimes things will run against you, even though you have the advantage. Sometimes volatility will hit in the player's favour. So maybe that'll help sort of the doubting Thomases to figure out that, okay, you can bump along very happily without having to spend very much money. But, well, that's a bitch, that ace there, isn't it? I think now we're on 1-2. 1, 2, 3, 2, drop. So that's just the point that I'm trying to make here. I mean, it's 4-2. Okay, 4-2 it is. 2-3 now. Uh, 5-6 second. That was kind of nice, wasn't it? So just to finish the thought, and I know, yeah, I do a lot of waffling and a lot of wittering and twittering and nattering and all the rest of it, but that's who I am, and that's really what I'm trying to get across to anybody who might stumble across these demo videos, is that I take this whole challenge very seriously indeed, but I understand, I recognize that most gamblers are not interested in the information that I am trying to get across to them. They just don't care, excuse me. Most gamblers expect to lose and even want to lose, and you only have to sort of like click on one of those gambling links on YouTube to see loonies like Degen or Degen Dolt or whatever his name is, just throwing money away. And he has a buddy who's got a strange name, Butsky or Bretsky or Bitsky or Bunky, I don't know, whatever, who does the same thing. It's madness. And then there's a guy who calls himself King Casino or something, which is a little bit of a leap, and he does exactly the same thing, throwing money away. I mean, it's extraordinary. Anyway, back to the men. You cannot beat these games without a shitload of money, and that is a fact. And of course it was demonstrated in the 7 shoes that I just put up. I had to go about nearly 40,000 out of the bankroll before I turned around with first of all a natural on 16,000, so that paid 24,000, and then a loss of 3,000, and then a natural on 6,000. You know, and that kind of thing doesn't happen all the time, but it happens. You know, I mean, you again watch these videos, people. You know, I mean, you see the most extraordinary things. I mean, old Mr. Handpay, Jason Bulkey, he keeps getting smashed with miraculous dealer hands where, you know, he gets 20, the dealer gets 21. He doubles down, he gets the right card, but the dealer gets 21. You know, all of that sort of thing happens all the time. And it goes both ways. And this is why the house has to have a lot of money. Just imagine a house which only has one blackjack table. But they've got to keep that dealer's tray filled just in case. And that's basically what we're doing. We are taking a lot of money to the table, ready to use it if we have to, but basically thinking to ourselves, it's just in case, you know? So, anyway, back to the minimum. And you know, I mean, it just makes me kind of queasy to think of all these people who sort of say, yeah, but you can't play like that. Oh, that's ridiculous. Nobody has that kind of money. If you don't have that kind of money, don't waste the little money you've got, because you're going to lose it. You know, it's for sure. And don't pay any attention to people like Matt Morrow, Vegas Matt. I mean, you know, he puts down 20,000, 40,000 on one hand, always backed banker at Baccarat, which is a big mistake, you know. But hey, he's entitled to do whatever he wants with his money. The only thing I'm concerned about is, are these people actually playing with their own money, or are they getting a reimbursement as soon as the camera's, you know, turned off? I don't know. Okay, and that's a repeat. And that's, what the hell was that? That was, so now we're on 51 second. I think I might have screwed up there too. Oh, that's a repeat. Oh, very nice. Okay, back to the min. Always, always, always go back to the minimum. Never, ever forget that. It's not the most important rule in the whole sort of pattern betting, turnaround target betting, deal or double or dick or drop or doodle or whatever. Okay, double or drop. That's the new name. It's not the most important rule, but it's right up there. You know, I mean, the most important rule is follow the rules. The next most important rule is take lots of money to the table. The next rule is don't touch any of that so-called free alcohol, right? And the next one after that is, you know, step away. If you're getting deep bloody nasties coming out of the shoe, go somewhere else. Don't bend over. So there you are. That's not looking good at all. No, I think that's might even be 2-3. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, let's give it a go. Oh dear, 5-3 drop. 5-3 it is. 8-6. We might be into big money. Look at that. See, I mean, that's the kind of thing. You got 19 against an 8. You don't think he's going to pull a 20, do you? 8-6, 14-15, third, I think. Oh, that's a bitch. There we go. But yeah, the whole thing is, you know, sort of like 3 consecutive losses, then drop. You know, drop down to basically whatever you want. I go for a 5th. Simply because it then makes a little bit of a contribution to the turnaround when eventually you get your win trigger, which will make you jump back to the full value of the bet. But also it's because it attracts less attention. I mean, if you drop from, you know, your bet is 500 and you drop down to 25, assuming that you're on a table with that kind of spread, 25 to 1,000 is about right. You'll see that quite often, I believe. You know, but anyway, if you drop too low, it's because they're paranoid. I mean, people running blackjack pits are bloody paranoid. They know that the game can be beaten, so they're on the alert all the time. And when I was banned, I actually looked it up in old records. When I was banned from uh, uh, Caesar's Tahoe way back, just before I started posting online, actually, back in '96. But they banned me because they'd been tracking me for 18 months. So that's where I got the 18 number that I quoted the last time. But they'd been tracking me for 18 months, and they said I won an average of 3,000 every month. And I thought, well, okay, that sounds fair enough. That is probably about right. But of course, Caesar's Tahoe was my sort of top of the line casino. I would bet low at other casinos. There's 6 at that time, I think. Let's see, Caesar's, Bill's, Harrah's, High Sierra, and Harvey's. Five casinos. And so, you know, I would bet low and then build up, and then finally wind up in Caesar's, where I would turn things around. And so they had a kind of it was a distorted picture of my activities, but they were right. I did beat them on a consistent basis, and the rat bags withdrew all my specials, like you know, sort of a membership card which gave me free access to the gym and free meals and all sorts of good stuff. They just decided that I wasn't somebody they wanted to have around. So rude. So that's going to be 2-3 again, I think. If I stopped talking, I'd do better. I make a lot of mistakes, there's no doubt about it, but I get to where I'm supposed to get to. That's the main thing. Was that 2-3? So we're out of that and back to the min. We're creeping up on 1,000 now, and I've been nattering so much that I've cocked everything up. But hey, that's what you get. That's part of the deal. Like it or lump it. Take it or leave it. That was a lucky one. Oh, and the dealer got luckier. That happens. Okay, so we're talking 1-2 now. And we're going to double that one. That got lucky, didn't it? Alright, clear and back to the minimum. Always go back to the minimum. I really do have to write a little tune. And maybe dance to it. Alexa, stop. One day I'll remember to turn her off. But probably not. I kind of like having her around. I'm getting confused now. Oh, look at that. Do I get 3? No. Okay, we'll repeat that one. So now we're on 3-4, third. Oh dear, 7-4 drop. And like I said, I go for a fifth, so a fifth of that, of 700 is 140, but you round up in hundreds. Did I say 7-4 drop? I did, didn't I? So that's 2, and we're going to double that. Okay, so that's 3-4 now, because we just got 4 back. Oh, could be good, could not. Oh, look at that, couldn't be much better than that, could it? But yeah, you know, I'm going to have to just constantly deal with people saying, well, obviously it's a crooked sim, because, I mean, you just don't get things like that. Well, nothing that happens here doesn't happen in Las Vegas or wherever, I tell you. But people will believe what they want to believe, especially when they're being paid to believe it. Can I double down now? No. Alright. I think that's probably back to the min, isn't it? Might have been a win streak, but I'll not find out until I'm doing the analysis. That's a frustration of dealing with this particular sim, because of course the baccarat one, it just tells me absolutely everything, and I can check when my memory slips. I can check what the bet is supposed to be and all that kind of lovely stuff. We're going to have to double that for the, and you don't have to do that. I'm saying we're going to have to. We don't have to. That's another player's choice thing. You do not have to react to a tie if you don't want to. Oh, Jesus. It happened again, you see. I mean, I got a wonderful fluke for 20 and the dealer gets a wonderful fluke for 21. I mean, it happens all the time. Where was I? So I'm what, on 3... No, that's wrong. 3-4. Oh! 7-8. Third, I think. Not sure, but that's what I'm doing. Oh, that's a double. Well, that got nice, didn't it? See, now we're 2,600 ahead, which is better. Oh, now I've got a bloody great fly buzzing around my head. Oh, Jesus. Uh, 51 second. Uh, 2-3 third. That could be good. Yeah. Yeah, Brandon, the should be good guy who's constantly pitching Stake, the online gambling thing, which actually looks like it might be straight, but he pitches that, and he also gets freebies from MSC Cruises and gambles all the time in the casino. God, I've got to do something about this bloody fly. I'll use the editor if I remember. Go away, you big black bastard. Go on, sod off. Oh, God, my boy will tell me I've got anger management problems because I'm yelling at a fly. All right. It's all entertainment here, isn't it? Now, where am I? What's happening? Again? What do you think you're doing, damn it? I'm going to make that 2-3. I'm furious now. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Oh, that's not good. Oh dear. See what happens when I get cross? Okay, so now we're on, I guess, 9-3 drop. I'm just guessing now because I'm not paying attention. 9-3, 11-3, still dropped. 11-3, so we're on 9-3 now. Now we're on 12-6. This could get sticky. Look at that. 12-6. 18-12, as in the overture. I think that might be third. Oi! 3, 1.5 drop. Yeah, that's how it has to be. Look at that! I mean, look at it! Look at it! You know, and you people are telling me that this thing is rigged. Jesus! So what is that? That's 3, 1.5 drop. So now it's 2, 1.5. Okay. And now we've got a 1/2. Look at that. See, I mean, flukes work both ways. Know what I mean? I guess I must have. Did I? I missed the shuffle, didn't I? I did, just talking too much. All right. Clear that one. minimum. This is turning out to be fun, this one. I like this. Double for the loss. I think it's a friendly one, actually. 51 second. Now, how can I say it's a friendly one? Of course it isn't. Look at some of the shit that's come at us. 51 second, so that's 2, 3, third. There we are. Okay. And +1 for the win. 51 second. Two, 3, third. Two, 3, third. 5, 3, drop. 5, 3 it is. Yeah, I don't take off. If I just win 100 in the drop, I don't take it off the down. If I win 200, I take it all off, or 200 or more, I take it all off. So 5, 3 is what it is. That's a double. So now we're on 11, 12. Oh, bugger. 23, 24, so I think we better make that 2.5, 3, third. Oh boy. Maybe. Look at that! I like it. Okay. Sorry. Am I allowed to get excited? I think it's fair enough, don't you? I mean, this actually is a tough one. No, I don't think this is player friendly at all. I think it's a piece of shit. But we're making money out of this. We're making a silk purse out of a sow's ear. How about that? Oh, that's rubbish, isn't it? Rubbish, rubbish. Okay, I think I'm going to call that 1, 2 second. And that's a double down. And that's money in the bank. So we're at 6,350 in 23 minutes. That's not too bad. That probably isn't. Oh, look at that. It says up here, I never noticed that before. It says up here already. He's got a blackjack. Okay. I'd never noticed that before. And that's, of course, Michael Shackelford on the card. How bizarre. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a flaw. One flaw is asking you if you want to stand when you've got a natural, and then the other one is that thing where it tells you ahead of time. But of course we're not doing insurance, so I guess if I opted for insurance as a possibility, then it would not do that, right? Double for the loss. Repeat. 51 second. Oh, look at that. It really has been a bitch, this shoe, isn't it? 51, so now we double that. 52 second. 3, 4 third. 7, 4 drop. Blimey. 9, 4. 11, 4. 9, 4. See, I took it all off there. 13, 8. Sticky again. Oi! 13, 8. 21, 16. So I'm going to make it 21-19 because it's tidy. My choice, you know. This is entirely up to player, whoever it is. If it's, you know, maybe. Maybe. There we go. Okay, did I say? I thought I said we were 6,000 ahead before. Sometimes I wonder if this counter is working correctly. I mean, everything is great in here, but maybe the cashier is I don't know, drunk or something, because that doesn't seem right to me. I'll have to have a look at that. I mean, I'm not bothered about that because I've got my own records anyway. So, you know. Double. Repeat. 51 second. 51, 51, 51, 51, 51. I'm going to repeat it. One, 2 second. That's good. Back to the men. Double for the loss. Bugger. 1, 2, third. Oh, that's better. Oh! 51 second. 2, 3 third. Come on. Oh, look at that. Jeez. 2, 3. It's still 2, 3. Ah! About bloody time. You ratbag. Honestly, you've been behaving very badly. Hey, don't worry, I talk to my bathroom plants too, so, you know, don't be surprised at me talking to the wizard. That's a repeater, I think. There we go, back to the men. This must be the last, isn't it? It's a double. And it's a loser. It's only 25, so I'm not going to worry about that. 6,725 ahead, yet again, a victory. Not too, we didn't dig too deep a hole. I think we might have gone in about 8,000 maybe. The record will show when I do the transcription. But yeah, just please remember that point that I was making about, you know, even if you were the house and you were laying on a blackjack table, knowing that you have the advantage in all ways, you have the advantage in terms of the game itself to the tune of a minimum of 1%. You also have the advantage in that you're providing free alcohol for the players, and they were pretty stupid when they sat down, but they're going to get a whole lot stupider. If stupider is a word. More stupid. You know, more uninhibited, more relaxed, but definitely more stupid. You know, so that's the thing, you know, you have to be ready for volatility. That's the whole point. And volatility and ignorance and bad behavior, emotional reaction to stress, all of those kinds of things are the friends of the house. And so those are the things that we're trying to iron out. We're just trying to get rid of with strategic or tactical play, tactical betting like this. And it doesn't matter what the strategy is called. I mean, currently I'm calling it double or drop, and I must admit I like that better than pretty much anything else. But it's still the same deal. It's the same as turnaround, same as targets, same as pattern betting, with admittedly some tweaks and enhancements and Evolution is the key word over the years. But anyway, we're coming up to 30 minutes now, so bye-bye. Okay, back at the Wiz's table. I feel I have a kind of an obligation to just keep on playing blackjack until this mythical crash and burn happens, because, you know, I'm not getting as many sort of anti-strategy messages as I used to. So I guess either I've flown under the radar, or the critics don't exist anymore. I don't know. I mean, you know, with these demos, more and more, you know, you just got to see that there's something to it. Okay, 1, 2, third. Oh, we got that one. All right, just 125. Double down. +1 for the win. 51 second. 51 1 and 2 3 third. That looks like a double. And look at that. See, now that's a bad sign. I mean, really. Okay, so that's 8-6 drop. That was horrid. That's horrid. 8-6, 10-6. 12-6. 14-6. Wouldn't you know it? 14-6. 16-6. Good God. 18-6. Well, I'd be in the hills by now, but 18-6, 26. We're just going to keep on going. 26. 22-6. Finally. 26. 20, that is. 20 down, 6 out. Okay, 26. 12. Second. That's a help. That is quite a help. So that's 18 back, so that gives us 8-9 next time, which is an improvement. Bugger! That's a shame, isn't it? 8, 9. We're going to call it 17-20, I think. Well, that's impressive. Obviously, it's rigged. So, you know, we put some serious money out there, about $4,000, and didn't get much back for it. But we did get protection for the profit in front of us. That was an interesting one. Wow, that was a terrible run. One of the worst I've come across, I think. +1. That's unexpected. +1. That's a repeat. So we made that. +1 for the win. 51 second. 2-3 third. 5-3 drop. 5-3 it is. That might work. Yeah, 5-3, so we'll call that 4, so that's 1-2. That was also pretty clever. 1-2, so back to the min. 51 second. That works. Back to the minimum. Double for the loss. 1, 2, third. 3, 2, drop. Same again. 3, 2 it is. Oh, wee! 7, 8 second. That didn't work, did it? 15, 16. I'd better do that just this once. Nicely timed. I know some twerp is going to say that I'm manipulating this or something. I wish. Well, actually I don't wish, because that wouldn't help me one bit. We're 1,350 ahead, which is not great, but is better than being up shit creek. +1 for the win. 51 second. And we repeat it. And we're out. That was nifty. That was very nifty. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, sometimes it goes right and sometimes it goes wrong, right? That's going to be a double for the tie there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we don't double again. So that's 2, 3 second. I think 5, 6 third. 11, 6 drop. 14, 6. 17, 6. So we get 4 back for that. So 13, 6 is the deal. Okay, so now we're on 7, 8. Bugger. 7, 8. Let me just. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I was going to say I've got to take a note of when the thingamajig was, but I don't. So we're not. So we're at 7. So now we're on 7, 8, 15, 16 again, I think. Second. Okay. So we got out of that, but we don't have much of a win, do we? Oh dear. Well, we've got a win. I suppose I should stop saying that, because we do have a win. That was nice. Do that when I've got 10,000 out there, will you? 51 second. That was nasty. Oh no, that's got to play now. All right, you made up for it, wizard. Yeah, it's funny. You can never understand really why people make excuses. They attack something without any scientific or mathematical basis for it, without any logical basis for it. It seems sometimes that it's just basically spite or some sort of self-interest, and you never know quite what's going on. I think we'll stick with that. Didn't work, did it? Okay, so that's, I think that's 1, 2, third. We'll take it. Alright. Not spectacular this time, but we're bringing it in little by little, and that's really the plan. I mean, that is great. But I am addicted to this now, there's no doubt about it. Okay, so that's 1, 2. So that's good. We're only at 2,500 ahead, which after 10 minutes is not really very good. But like I say, I should stop saying that, because the most important thing is we got money. So that's 51 second. Look at that. Damn me. That's a repeat. 1, 2 second. Aye, aye, aye. Alright, good enough. I'll take it. Oh, very nice. Very clever. 51. 2, 3, third. Okay, so that's 8, 6. 2, yeah, that's 8, 6. Drop. Ten, 6. Ace in the way. 12, 6. 12, 6. 14, 6. 14, 6, 12, 6. 18, 12, like that overture. Oh, bugger. 18, 12 was that second? 18, 12, so that's 3, 2.5 third, I think. I thought so. 3, 2.5, so that's 5.5. So we'll call it 6, 3. And we got to put in 1.5 as the drop. Six, 3, 4.5, 3. That's unbelievable. 1.5, 2. That was really weird. Three and a half, 4 second. Damn it! You know, I'm catching some beauties. I'm missing some, you know. But I mean, that's what can I say? There is no manipulation. There is no wizard behind the green curtain pulling strings. I'm not really rigging this thing. It is enough to drive a person bonkers. Oh, that's very interesting. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just showing off now, aren't you, mister? I think that's 1, 2 third. Good enough. Boop. Double for the loss. 1, 2 third again. Oh, look at that. Oh dear. 5-4 drop. Five, 4 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 9-8. That was bad luck, the last one. Good luck for him. Okay, 1, 2. Double it. That's good enough. Yeah, not a great performance this time, but by golly, it's a plus performance. So let's give it some credit in more ways than one. That's a repeater. That was close. Okay. Back to the min. +1. By which I mean +1 unit, of course, not +100. +1. Just good enough. +1. Okay, so we're going to repeat that. That'll work, I think. But it's going to have to be repeated again. And now it's going to have to be double for the tie. And now it's 2-3, and we're pretty much at the end of this, so I think I'm going to have to play on because we're into big money. I think we can do the 5-6, can't we? Oh, 5-6. So that's 11-6 drop. That's a bugger, isn't it? So we just made 6 there, so now we're on 5-6 to turn around. And we got it. Okay, so the win after 2 and a little bit shoes is 4,650, which is not one of my stellar performances, but on the other hand, we're talking about 17 minutes max. You won't play at this kind of speed, heads up, in a real casino. Most of the time you won't anyway. If you have a reserved table that nobody else can muscle in on, you know, you can do it. Certainly, you can make 400 hands an hour if you really work at it. If you've got a dealer who's skilled and both of you are quick at counting, you know, not counting cards but just getting the numbers right, then you can really whiz along. I mean, certainly 300 is not beyond the bounds of possibility, but I'm not playing at that kind of rate. And you know, the other thing that I think is constantly being reinforced by these wizard demos is that playing more than one hand is really not smart. I mean, most of them do it. I mean, you know, Brandon does it, and Jason, and well, of course, Matt Morrow, Vegas Matt, is an exception to the rule. I mean, he seems to be all over the place. It's working for him. He's got nearly 700,000 subscribers now, which I think is absolutely astonishing. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I mean, the family dynamic there is kind of fun for maybe a couple of videos, and then it gets a bit sort of old because, I mean, basically they're making idiots of themselves. They're wasting tons and tons of money unless they're getting it back. Then I could understand it, you know. You know, because they're getting a ton of money from Google, and if their debts are just written off, and of course Matt bangs on and on and on about valuable player points, and he said in one interview that I watched, he said that he'd made I don't know, 370 or 365,000 or something like that in comps, and then complained about the fact that $1,000 meal will still cost him 200 because the tip isn't covered. You know, I mean, oh my God, talk about ungrateful. But never mind, it's his game, so he sets the rules, and it's working for him. So enough about that, and I'll see you next time. Alright, I just keep on coming back because I'm waiting for the threatened other shoe to drop, and I just need more stuff to add to the growing list of winning sessions. That's not going to be a winner. 51 second. Bugger. Double for the push. That was pretty. Fixed, rigged, crooked. Aye. Double, no, yes, add one. Double, yeah, double for the loss. That's what I meant to say. 1 2 third. 3 2 drop. So that was pretty good, wasn't it? That catch down there. 3 2 drop. 3 2 it is. Yeah, that was cheeky. Jesus, now I'm starting to worry about this thing being rigged. 3 2, so that became 1 2, and now it's 3 4 second. I should cocoa. Alright, back to the men. Yeah, I'm catching some weird stuff right now. This is the kind of thing that makes people feel they're invincible, you know? Oh, come on. Okay, so that's going to be 1 2 second. Thank you. +1. +1. Repeat that one. Okay, back to the men. Oh, we're limping at the moment, but hey, we're winning. Double for the loss. Double down. That's good. I think that's back to the men. +1. Yeah, this one's an odd one. 51 second. 51 3 4 third. That'll work. Creeping up. Oh no, I don't remember about this one. Ace 7, soft 18 against a... Oh yeah, it's a double down. Gotta put that cheat sheet up again. No, it's not a double down, don't be ridiculous. Okay. 1 2. 3 4 third. I'll take that. Yeah, the thing that gets me about the sort of negative stuff that comes back to me is that you know, if this thing doesn't work, why does it keep on working? I mean, you know, please explain. Because these are real sessions. Okay, it's a simulated game, but if anybody actually had the balls to check out the game for themselves before they pronounced it sort of like, oh, well, it's not the same, it's not like a real game. It's exactly like a real game. God damn it. But you know, people just won't do that. They just love to just say, oh no, that's meaningless. Ay, ay, ay. I think we're on 2-3 now, third. 5-3 drop. Double. 3-4 now, because we certainly can't have 3-3. That's a split. Sorry. That was a good one, wasn't it? That was very handy. Quite a lot of money came in there. Thank you. So we're 2-150 ahead right now. That's decent. Oops. Double for the loss. 1-2 third. That'll work. Back to the men. Just remember, back to the men. It's very important. Double for the loss. 1-2 third. 3-2 drop. 3-2 it is. 1-2. All right. This is going like a little too well for us, I think. I think we made a bit of money there, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Okie dokie, 2-3 second. That's going to be good. Alright, back to the men. +1 for the loss. Repeat. $51 second. Repeat. Alright. Yeah, this is another one that's friendly. And they do happen. I don't care what these idiots out there say. They do happen. Is that 1-2? I think that might be 1-2 third. 3-2 drop. 4-2. Okay, 2-3. We don't care about shuffles and shit like that. That's all smoke and mirrors. Okay, 5-6. That worked for us. That definitely worked for us. Okay, so back to the men. Ooh! Is that 1-2? I think that'll do. Yeah, you know, I mean, if this strategy is crap, then, you know, somebody needs to explain why I just keep on doing this. I mean, you know, the idea that this is a rigged sim is it's just too silly for words. And you know, do they really think that Baccarat Win Pro is rigged as well? I mean, it's so pathetic because people put up these objections, but they don't produce any. You know, it's like these arseholes in the States who sort of say, well, the last election was rigged. but not one of them has produced any proof. I mean, you know, they've been called into court, they've been kicked out of court, like I think was it 23, 24 times, and they're always saying, we are going to reveal the most fantastic, it proves it, it's absolutely, the election was stolen, and they've never bloody produced a thing. And it's the same crap with these people who say, oh no, you can't beat games like this, that's ridiculous. You know, no, that just isn't true. Hey, was that a win? Better do it again, I think. I think I fucked up. Double for the loss. Oh, that was sad. I think we're on 2-3 now. I think we must be on 5-6 third. That'll work. Oh! 51 second. 2-3 third. 5-3 drop. 5-3 it is. 1, 2, 3. I think that's enough, isn't it? Yeah, it is. We got 6 back that time, so. Oh, pesky. 51 second. Double for the push. Alright, that's good. Oh, fiddle and fart. I don't know what happened there, it all went sort of wonky, didn't it? Beat that, Mr. Wiz. I think we're on a plus run here. Not anymore. That got us out of trouble, so we're back to the hoodly doodle. Now we're at 5,087, so we're looking a bit better, aren't we? This isn't going to work much longer. No, there we go. Double for the loss. Oh. Double for the push. Alright. 3-4, I think. Seven, 4 drop. Uh, 9-4. Eleven, 4. 9-4. Ah. 13-8. Oh my God, that's a rough one. Happens all the time though. 21-16. So I think I'm going to call that 21-19 because it's the third. There we go. Yeah, the reason I did that is 21 and 19 add up to 40, so if I'd lost it, then that would give me... I mean, this is the sort of thing that, you know, is up to the player. You know, if you've got the resources, if you know that you're going to fall back to the strict strategy rules, if Sorry, it's a couple of beers have hit me again there, you see, because I can do this because I'm not playing for actual cash. Yeah, you know, you can make little kind of like changes here and there just for convenience, for ease, for whatever. But you must fall back to the regular strategy as soon as you get into any kind of trouble. That's a good one up there. I like that. That was a player catch. Oh dear. 1, 2, third. Oh, okay. We're out of that then. I thought we were at 6,000 at one point. I must have misread it. Oh dear. Half these things I only know about when I get to the transcription, you know, over to... Okay, it's 3-2 drop. Double down. That's good. That's 1-2 now. That's another double down, isn't it? That worked. All right. Now we're at 6,000. Double. 1, 2, third. 3-2 drop. That was mean. Uh, 3-2 it is. Okay, 7-8. Uh-oh. Well, 7-9 is good enough. Okay, so 7-9. 16-20 third. I could regret this. Oh, and I do regret it. 16-20. So that's 4-2 drop. That worked, didn't it? So we're basically going to have to bet 1 to catch up. But we're still not right. Look at that. I mean, is it my brain or is it the counter? I mean, we got to 31,000 a minute ago. Let's do that again. And now we're at 32, so now we're at 7,000. But I mean, you know, you see my problem there. That was weird. Back to the min. I think this is going to be over in a sec. Another plus. And there's the yellow card, which I think occasionally I refer to as the red card. The red card, of course, being it's over, get off the field. The yellow card, of course, is a warning card, so I like to call it the yellow card because it is yellow. But on the other hand, it's the red card in the sense that it's the end of the game, you know, so that's what that's about. Alright, so we're at 7,637 up, and I think that's good. You know, and we're still waiting for the crash and burn. And I do not understand how anybody skipping through these videos, and I'm not sure how many there are now on this particular channel, the Practice Makes Profit, but there's a lot. You know, because I mean, I do this partly for research, partly for my own entertainment, partly because I'm bored and I need something to do, and you know, whatever. And so I just keep putting them up because it's so easy. I mean, recording in this program is very easy. The editor is cheap and nasty, but it only costs me 10 quid a month. So, unlike paying a huge amount of money, I think about £60 a month for Adobe, whatever. And I'm thinking, well, you know, why bother? I've pretty much conquered. I think it's called Clamp Chip or Chimp Clap or Clump Chipper or Chip Clip champ. That's it. That's it. It's down here. No, it's not. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye. Hey. So the latest. Pretty straightforward, really. It's extraordinary. Well, it isn't that extraordinary because it's been going on for a very long time. But I still constantly think of how there are people kind of lurking in the wings thinking, yeah, he's going to crash and burn in a minute. Or they're thinking, well, of course, he doesn't show us the crash and burns. He just shows us the wins. And, I can understand that in many ways. I mean, it does seem absolutely ridiculous that somebody is promoting a way to beat the house consistently without charging any money for it, or on the other hand, being stupid enough to tell the world about it, including the casino operators, because they're just going to shut it down. I've had many times over the years, I've had people say to me, well, obviously, if you really had a winning strategy, you'd keep your mouth shut and you'd just win with it. But that's not my bag at all. I mean, I had bloody nearly 40 years of regular gambling in the US of A, entirely in Nevada, either Las Vegas or up north in Washoe County and South Lake Tahoe. So, and also Carson Valley. So, yeah, I mean, I get that point of view, and all I can do is just keep on doing what I'm doing. And at some point in the very near future, I'm going to put together a list of all of the wins, all of the ones that are on this channel, on this Practice Makes Profit channel, because I think that's relevant. But anyway, let's look at a few things here. The sort of the old faithfuls, the gross AV, which is the house advantage, taking into account this gross number over here, which is, there were 51 wins and there were 56 losses. So basically the house had the edge to the tune of 4.4%. And that of course is 5 over 106, so that's how we come out at that. The net AV is a player percentage. It's a player edge up there because of naturals and double downs, which often are a big help. They can also be the worst hindrance. And one of my rules with blackjack is that if I miss 2 or 3 double downs in a row, then I'll just walk away. Because there are some shoes, some situations where for some reason, which is completely out of your control, double downs just don't work. And I'm fully aware of all of the advice that you get from the experts, which says everything is random. So there's no reason to suppose that whatever's happened in the past is going to be recreated in the future. I get that. But so much of success at the gambling tables, at house games, in casinos, and come to that online, is player attitude. And if I'm getting beaten up, I don't want to bend over for it. I want to shift my ass somewhere else out of danger, And so that's what I will do. And the gag rule is easier to operate with baccarat, because I've got this monster model running. And there, what happens is if the prior bet is 500 or more, and I'm 5 bets behind, then, or at least when the algorithm is 5 bets behind, as well as having just lost a bet of 500 or more, it just jumps out of that shoe and then resumes betting at the appropriate level as soon as the next shoe starts. And that sort of thing is easy enough to do if you have extreme skills like I do, and just a genius approach to spreadsheets. No, I'm being Donald Trump again. I was just watching some more stuff on YouTube. Honestly, he's going to go down in the history books as the worst ever presidential candidate. I mean, every time he opens his mouth, he puts his foot in it. It's just It's classic. And the extraordinary thing is, not too long ago, in sort of like fairly recent history, somebody like him wouldn't get a sniff at political office. He would just get nowhere near it. But you know, somehow America, the USA, God bless its little cotton socks, has decided that truth doesn't matter anymore, competence doesn't matter anymore, integrity, decency, just niceness, just proper values. They don't matter anymore. You know, I think that we're going to go back to normal pretty soon in the States, and then perhaps I might visit again. But oh dear, I've got 3 kids over there and 6 grandkids, and it bothers the hell out of me. I mean, I had a good time when I was there, but by golly, in the last 10 years in particular, it has gone to shit. Anyway, speaking of shit, this was fairly hard this time. 99 low bets were 87% of the total number of total of 114 bets in all. 15 high bets, 13%. The low bets lost 850. The big bets won 7,700. So that gave us 6,850. Oh yeah, I get why that is. Every so often I have to put in an adjustment because there is some disparity between the numbers that I transcribe from the recorded sessions that I've had against the Wiz and the final amount, and I have gone through my numbers again and again and again, and finally I thought, you know what, it's such a small percentage, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in an adjustment, and I'll show you how it looks, because there's nothing underhand about it. It's just a matter of going down here and saying, okay, you know, we're 100 off, we had 100 too much up there, so let's adjust right here. And so that happens, and that's counted in to this total up here, but it doesn't get into this one here. And I probably should fix that, but you know what? To hell with it. For now, anyway. No real exposure this time. I mean, we had some very big bets, so that if you actually go down the columns here, you know, you'll see exposure to the tune of what, 2,750 plus the 1,000 there, which was out on the table, so that's 3,750. I don't know if we went any lower than that. No, that was the full extent. So we had a real exposure of about $4,000, and for that exposure, we safeguarded our slow march towards profit. And we ended up with 6,750. And this is a point that I can't make often enough, and that is that all these green horizontal bars that you see here also indicate a step-by-step move towards profit. Here, because there was an error, we didn't make any progress. We didn't win any money. And sometimes mistakes cost me money and sometimes they don't. Here we moved from 288 to 438. And then up to 763, and then 938, 1400, you know. And if you watch these guys online, you'll see them, you know, sort of getting ahead and then suddenly going a nosedive into the red again. And, you know, it's just a bizarre thing to watch. This was an interesting setup here because we ended up with not very much money, but we did win. And we were 6 bets behind in this sequence here. It was just an absolute shitstorm. It was horrible. But we came out of it alive, and coming out of it alive is what we're about, right? I'm about to sneeze. I'm very sorry. Sorry. Pardon me, bless me, whatever. Yeah, so that was the worst that we had. So it wasn't really terrible this time. Go over to the damn Dumble Down, and well, you know what? It's won again, but considerably less than me. Let's knock out the plus there. Yeah, see, again, you know, if you take that away, you lose over 1,000 in profit. So, you know, these people like Greg, Matchmaker, you know, who sneer at the martingale, yes, they're right to do that, but it's a stupid betting strategy, if that's what it is. You have to make sure that if you get a winning run, a plus run as I prefer to call it, then chase it. And if it starts off at the very beginning, I mean, like here, down here, we've got 25, 50, 75, 100, and then we bet 100 again here, and I guess we must have had a double down. Yeah, we did. So we had a double down there, you know. So that's why that returned 200. And so then we were happy with that, and we've got the same horizontal bars here, green horizontal bars, as in strategic betting. Double or drop. I'm going to have to start putting that onto these each one of these thingamajiggamies. But yeah, you know, so you know what you do is if you start off with a win, then you know, and then here, of course, it didn't finish off, it didn't recover. But that's the story. Here again is the actual value, which dipped very badly for a while, shot up in our favour, and then started to just arse around back and forth. That's pretty common. What do we get here with naturals? We had an unusually high number of those again, but they only contributed 325, and then doubles and splits. There were more wins than losses, 13 wins and 8 losses. But they contributed only 2,500. But still, you know, it's very handy. It's useful money. So I don't have a problem with that at all. Thank you very much. But there we go. We're over there now. That's the end of that. And I will catch you next time. This was a good one. Liked it. And I like the fact that, you know, here, 366 our average win, 213 our average loss. And the average win over average loss advantage is 172%. Just remember, if anybody says to you, well, obviously it is impossible to win more when you win than you lose when you lose, tell them, hey, your head is up your fundament. Next time. Yeah, one of the things I find really interesting about these spreadsheet kind of transcriptions, analyses, whatever you want to call them, is how similar they are. I mean, yes, sometimes there are some real horror stories, but the double or drop or pattern betting or target betting or turnaround betting or whatever you want to call it, it's all basically the same thing, and it just basically keeps getting out of trouble. Right in front of us, you know, the second series here was an absolute bloody horror. 11 consecutive losses, which I would never have stood, I must confess. If I was actually at a table playing for real money, I think I'd have run away long before 11 consecutive losses. But for the purposes of demonstrating how effective double or drop is, I have to just basically stick with it and you know, just plough on until success. And here, you know, we had this sequence, this first sequence here. Because of the 11 consecutive losses, we end up winning just 350 after losing 8 more bets than we won. I mean, look at this. Look at all this red here. We won 1, 2, 3, 4 bets, and we lost all the others. And we still came out smelling the roses. Not exactly super pungent roses. We made 525 less. We made 400 on a potential outlay of 3,750, because you have to take this big number here, big negative number, and add to it the potential for this $1,200 bet to be lost. So that's 3,750 in play. And over here it's 3,650, and we made 350 bucks out of it. And you know, lots of people will look at that and say, well, you know, that's just ridiculous. You come up with blah blah blah. And the problem is, people, that, you know, if you don't bet this way, you will lose your money. And I'm not trying to argue that it's the best strategy in the world. All I can say about it is it's the best one that I know of. And I have studied all manner of people over multiple years in casinos in Nevada, watched carefully to see what people are doing. The most risque thing that anybody does, at least according to my experience, and I haven't been in Nevada for over 10 years now, so I have to take that into account, but the most daring thing that anybody does in Nevada is count cards. And I'm very much on the fence about card counting. I just can't see its value, because I've had too many models in which I have tracked the current deck value and seen no benefit from raising bets when the deck value is positive and reducing them when it's negative. I mean, it's just, everything comes down to patterns, to ebb and flow, back and forth, yin and yang, ping and pong, zig and zag, all of those things that I keep trotting out. But I mean, you know, I'm trying to get a very, very simple message across. And it's not simple-minded, it's just uncomplicated, you know. And first of all, let's have a go with the random better. There you go, he made money that time, lost that time. Every time though, look at the amount of action that he has compared to pattern betting, and he'll come out on top every so often. You know, you get lucky once in a while. It's like the old cliche about a blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while. Well, hey, you know, or is it even a blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while? There are all these wonderful cliches they love to trot out at blackjack tables in particular. It's really pretty funny. But anyway, there we go. I think you get the picture here, that sometimes random wins and sometimes it doesn't, but mostly it doesn't. So, you know, end of story. Double or Drop has come out with a win of 4,650, which is somewhere around 11.4% of total action. That's decent. I think that's really decent. We're looking at an average win of 472 versus an average loss for Double or Drop of 319. So that's an edge for the average win value over the average loss value of 148%. Very important. Up in Z and AA, you can see a minus 7.7 gross AV, which is the house advantage, the house edge, when expressed in terms of how many wins and how many losses, which is up here. And then naturals and double downs and so on reduced that quite substantially by more than half to a still negative 3.3%. So still a very firm and very strong house edge. That kind of thing I think is important. Let's go down slowly down to the bottom so you can get a better handle on this. But it was tough. It was tough pretty much all the way. It really was. Going over to Dumble Down this time loses. That's kind of rare. And this is against an average value where it dropped like a stone here. That's when those terrible minus 11 came in. That's right here. And then a steady kind of move upwards. So the trend is definitely upwards, and then suddenly, wham, down in the hole again, and then up. And this is the nature of the way things are in these games, and I just wish I could get this message across. Stop fretting about shuffles and cuts and burn cards and other distractions, smoke and mirrors, bloody, nonsense, and just look at patterns. Here's the minus 11. Here's another nasty red run. Here's another nasty red run. On the whole, it comes out sort of evenish, you know. But what you count on is these little turnarounds here. And going back over to the top of the file, you know, you see here we turn around in one win. Here we turn around in one win. And there it's one win. Here it's two. But mostly, you know, you're looking for just as soon as you get a win trigger, jump on it. It may not work out. The odds are against you, but not by very much. They're only against you by about, in blackjack, by less than 1%. So, you know, you've got about 49 3/4 to a 50 1/4 um, chance of making it. And if it hits, then it'll get you out of trouble, and that's the whole point, you know. But anyway, it's all here. The files are filled with information, as always, probably too much. That's the old story. Just very quickly, 96 low value bets, 82%. They lost 2,250. High bets, 21, only 18%. They won 6,900, which evened things out and then gave us a very nice plus balance of 4,650. Not a record, but hey, not bad. And you know, every damn analysis comes out the same. And you know, I get every so often I get these little sort of like memories, particularly of people sort of saying, "Yeah, well, you're cheating, you're cherry picking, you're doing whatever." So I think that next time I fire up the wizard thing, I'm just going to play off 5 shoes and just do 5 shoes in succession and let somebody find a flaw with the editing, because it'll be difficult, I can tell you that. It's just, you know, there's no cheating going on here. There's no magic. There's no miracles. There's no nothing. It's just straightforward mathematics, arithmetic, whatever you want to call it. Maths. It's numbers. They, you know, that's what it's about. And if you don't let yourself be distracted by nonsense like shuffles and so on, then you know, you're best off. We had down here. We had let's see, what do we have? We had a shuffle right here, right? End of shoe 1, and I just carried on. Boom, very next bet out of the new shoe turns us around. Whereas if I'd been Mr. HP, I'd have said, oh, okay, there's a shuffle, I better drop down to my minimum, and then slog, you know. It's just ridiculous. But you know, everybody has the right to do what they want with their money. I'm always saying that. I completely accept it. The thing that I have a problem with the YouTube guys is that they are basically, whether they set out to be or not, they're role models. They're showing people how to bet. And from the casino standpoint, they are kind of a mixed blessing, I would have thought, because the way they lose money hand over fist, you'd think the casinos would think, well, maybe that's not such a good thing. You know, that's not going to bring punters in. I think what would bring punters in would be somebody consistently winning, but that's just me. I mean, I would, for instance, if I were playing this in a casino setting with real money, just, you know, and filming it, I think that more people are likely to say, oh, that's interesting. Wow. Well, you really can beat that game. And then they do what everybody did after Ed Thorpe published his book in the 60s, you know, his card counting thing. Everybody thought, oh, let's play blackjack. Let's run to Las Vegas right now and we'll play blackjack. And they completely forgot about everything that he said in his book. They just jumped straight in and bet like fools. And they've been doing it ever since, for the last, what is it now? Is it 50 years yet since Thorpe published his book? It must be damn close, I would think. It must be, because it was in the 60s, wasn't it? So therefore it must be more than 50 years. And he's boosted the casinos by an incredible amount. I hope he's getting commission. But what happened was, everybody says, okay, let's do it, let's play blackjack. The casinos, meanwhile, are saying, okay, let's do everything we can to stop people from card counting. And then the casinos realised what was going on. People were not following Thorpe's strategy at all. They were just doing their own thing, and they relaxed. And the rules softened again, and they got, you know, gentler and kinder. Now, of course, the casinos in Las Vegas in particular, and in Nevada, and I've no doubt in the rest of the world too, are being as greedy as possible, trying to introduce stupid games like if the dealer gets 22, it's a push. You know, I mean, come on. And then I hear Brandon O'Brien saying, oh yeah, well, yeah, this is a really good game. It's six decks, but all the 10s have been taken out. I mean, that's minus 24 in deck value right there, if deck value means anything, which I doubt. But anyway, there you go. Bang. 24 out the window. So you're already at a greater disadvantage than you would have been with the 10s in there. That's how it is, you know. So, you know, it's just strange to hear people doing this. And then my dear friend and admirer, Greg Matchmaker, is playing a game where they do this dealer's 22 thing, and acting like it's wonderful. But I mean, these guys, I don't know, they got to be shills. They must be, surely. Why else would they be doing it? Good God, weird. Okay then, here we are again. My apologies to anybody who finds this boring, because it is the same old, same old. I mean, every one of these that I process comes out with basically the same story. It's increasingly difficult to understand how the YouTube sort of performers, showmen, whatever you want to call them, in the gambling segment of YouTube, what exactly they're about. Because I just processed another session of Mr. Handpay's, Jason Bulkey's adventures against Yamavar, which is somewhere east of Los Angeles, I think, and in the general area of Palm Springs. I'm not sure exactly where it is. He is certainly committed to promoting them in every way possible, and they seem to be taking very good care of him, but he's getting his ass kicked at the tables, and his latest session was just as mystifying as so many of his others, and it's difficult to know what's going on. I've just sent him a note saying, you know, I fully understand it's none of my business, but on the other hand, the way I really feel about it is he's up there, you know, with a channel in a public forum, a public place, and I think he ought to be being a bit more careful about the sort of example that he sets to people who might be tempted to bet as badly and as crazily and as erratically and illogically and frankly recklessly as he does. Like I say, his money, his choice. I've always said that, and I've always believed it. But it is a bit of a mystery. I mean, you know, on the one hand, you think, well, is he getting his money back from the casino when the camera's turned off? They sort of say, okay, all right, well then here you go. Or is he sort of betting sensibly and winning when he's not on camera? When, you know, does he go off and play without the camera rolling, without any of those smartphones or whatever it is, GoPros or whatever it is that he uses? And it is amazing, the technology we've all got at our fingertips now. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I remember not long ago reading a novel in which everybody was very impressed by the fact that they had something called colour fax, which was a modern colour fax machine instead of the nasty old smelly black and white. Yeah, and it was a very big deal, and now we've got so far beyond that in the last 10 years, 15 years or whatever. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, I'll talk too much as always. What we have is a win of 7,638, which is a third, or just slightly less than a third of our total action. Random betting on the first go around manages to lose just 250, but has to have a churn of almost 305,000 in order to lose that 1.1%. 51 wins, 57 losses is the gross actual value, which is 5.2% against the player. But double downs and naturals and so on mitigated that and actually flipped it to a very slight, just under 1% player edge. Down or drop, pattern betting, progressive betting, whatever. You know, even I'm getting a little confused with the name changes. But the story there is, let's see, 351 average win, 180 average loss. So we've got almost a 200%. It's 195% edge average win value over average loss value, and that's very, very, very good. Down here you've got the graphic that just shows you the back and forth, the ups and downs, and this is about the most dramatic indication of what goes on in these games that you could possibly get. I mean, yes, you know, we see some nasty downturns, and there's a particularly nasty one here. But we prevail. every time. Actual exposure to the bankroll was only $100 this time. I mean, poor old Jason, in his little session, got into very considerable trouble against a set of outcomes that were worse than these for sure. But still, those outcomes, down and drop beat without too much trouble. So what are we looking at here? A lot of mistakes, I have to confess, in this particular batch. Nothing crooked about them, nothing weird, nothing about me colluding with the, I was about to say the vicar, the wizard, or manipulating the sim somehow. It was just that sometimes if I'm playing through one of these sessions late at night, I've had a couple of beers, and I'm not as smart as I would be without them. And that's a reminder for all of us that if you're stupid enough to accept free alcohol from the casinos, if you're playing in a bricks and mortar place, then basically you deserve to lose. As I say, lots of errors. There we go, down to the bottom. Second shoe was unfriendly. First shoe was on our side, I think. Yeah, just about. So we had a 9.3 player edge on the first shoe, which was very nice, and that was very quickly taken away by the second shoe. So we ended up with a negative situation. Over here, what have we got? We've got low bets were 92% of the total, and they won 2,713. Nice to see them actually not having a red number there. There were 9 high bets, and they won 5,000, which is the rest of the win. And there's a slight difference between this number up here and this number here, and that's simply because I make an adjustment if there's a slight difference, because it's only ever sort of like in the area of 1%, and I'm not going to chase my tail to find a 1% error. It could be mine, it could be the wizard sim, it could be, it's much more likely to be mine, I have to admit, but I'm just not I'm not that bothered. Every time I go through the bets in this column a second time to make sure I haven't got anything wrong, and then every time I get the same information. So the only place I can be making a mistake is in my notes, and hey, there's nothing much I can do about that. So we actually had the net situation is expressed down here and in the file name up there, player 65, dealer 64. So that explains the 0.8% up the top there. We go over to Dumble Down, and Dumble Down loses again this time. Take away the extra thingy there, and that, and this is the thing that gets me. These people on, now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there was never that many pluses in a row. Something's up. There's something wrong with the formula here, so I'm going to have to fix that. I'm sorry about the sort of the work in progress side of things, but I promise you that where the rubber meets the road, which is between pattern betting and the random formulas there are absolutely no problems. But I know for sure, I mean, this is showing pluses all the way down here, and that just did not happen. There's no way. So obviously there's a cock-up of some kind. I'll have to look into that and report back. This is part of the process. This is the whole deal with these Excel kind of transcriptions, analyses, whatever. They are a work in progress. Everything that I do is a work in progress. I go for improvements all the time. I think we all do that with whatever we do, whether it's polishing floors to cleaning cars to plotting, I don't know, whatever. Something really important like brain surgery. Everybody who does that hopes that they get better each time. I mean, that's how we're built, isn't it? So I'm going to discount the pattern betting thing there, because it's just misleading, and I'll have to find out what I did wrong there. But anyway, the most important thing is that the very clear win for a double or drop pattern betting is indicated, and it is, I promise you, accurate. This is the actual value of, you know, the ups and downs. We went very much down at the beginning, and then boink, 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 up and up, and well, you can see, I don't have to describe it to you. And then we go down a bit further. We've got a slightly bigger version of the graphic over to the left, which just tells the same story but with more ink. And here is something that's a little extra. 2 in a row wins, 11. 2 in a row losses, 16. 3 in a row wins, 10. 3 in a row losses, 13. There you go, you can read, so you can see what's going on there. What else? Splits and double downs made a very powerful contribution this time. 19 winning splits or double downs compared to 11 losses, and the combined combination was damn near all of the wins, 7,450, and then we only had 4 naturals, and they contributed 488, which is just the extra bit, you know, the one doesn't count, it's the extra bit, that's all that matters. So, you know, that's where we're at, end of story. I just, you know, all I can do is just keep on doing this, and eventually it's going to catch on. But I don't think it's going to catch on with the YouTube gamblers, because I think that they would be, as I have said many times before, in deep shit with their hosts if they were to start teaching people how to kick the crap out of the house advantage. So I think that probably Jason and Brandon and Matt, Vegas Matt and others will just keep their heads down and keep on losing for the cameras, and maybe they'll have the wit behind the scenes when they're not shooting videos for the entertainment of the masses to actually make money at the tables. They certainly have the resources, and this is part of what I'm trying to do, is to explain to as many people as I can reach that if you tackle these games with a tin pot shoestring budget, you're going to get your ass kicked. If you go into these games with a huge amount of money and you bet the way Matt and Jason and Brandon do, then you'll lose that as well. But if you go into these games with a shitload of money and a strategy like this, and I would recommend this one because it's definitely my favorite, you know, then you've got a very, very good chance indeed of getting some money out of the process. So there we are, done and dusted, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, so this is always kind of a tricky topic or task to tackle, because I've been, as some of you will know, tracking Mr. Handpay, Jason Bulky, or I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but anyway, that's irrelevant. Sorry. I've been tracking him since the 15th of March, everything that he's put online. And he is a complete mystery to me, and he's entitled to be. That's, you know, he's not in business for my benefit. You know, he doesn't owe me a damn thing. What I'm puzzled about is the fact that he keeps losing when he doesn't have to. And so, you know, I'm kind of thinking to myself, all right then, well, you know, if he wants to throw his money away, set it on fire, flush it, throw it out the window, do whatever, you know, that's entirely up to him. His money, his choice, blah blah. But I just have this nagging feeling all the time that these guys with their YouTube channels and their big bankrolls really have a duty to their salivating audience to bet responsibly, sensibly, and not to suggest that losing is a barrel of laughs, which is what they seem to be doing. I mean, the latest session of Jason's was at Yamava, the latest that he put up, and I imagine that the way he does this is he films several sessions in one location and then just sort of like puts them up here and there, because obviously they're connected. I mean, he's dressed the same and things like that. He doesn't make any effort to conceal that. So this is the latest one, you know, which was posted on the 17th of August. And it was a horror story. He had a really bad time in the first shoe. he was 16 bets behind, and he lost 12,800. And then in the second shoe, which I need to edit and to call it second, he was another 4 bets behind, 20, and lost another 6,025. And then he lost Alexa stop. And then he lost a fair amount of money on top of that because of side bets, which, and then on one of them he got a $1,200 payoff along the way. But that wasn't enough to cover his losses, so he lost an additional 1175 on side bets. And you know, the mystery with Jason and others who bet online is why they bet multiple hands. I just don't get it. I only process the left hand or first base hand. I don't pay any attention to his others. And the story for me, for down or drop or pattern betting, was a win of just about 2,300, which is not spectacular, but on the other hand, it was less than half an hour. So, you know, a high roller like Jason is not going to be very impressed with a win of 2,500 in half an hour of his time. But I certainly am. I mean, I don't earn 5,000 an hour most of the time. You know, so what can I say? It's just the whole thing is bizarre as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, you can see here in the first shoe where he lost 12,800. Over here, I won 2,075. Then in the second shoe where he lost 6,025, I won a massive amount of money, 188. But I was waiting to turn around because I've got this bunch of nasties here. I don't get, why would that be? Oh, never mind. It's there are little things that puzzle me sometimes with all of these things, but they are accurate. They are as good and as honest and as fair and complete as I can make them. But the spreadsheets aren't the thing that count the most. What I think is most important is the demos that I'm putting up, you know, playing in real time. And it really doesn't matter that I'm playing against simulated games. I mean, it's nonsense to say that these games are not accurate or representative of the real thing. They're actually much better because they are consistent. You know, they drop the you know, the sort of the what they always talk about, deck penetration, and to me it always sounds a little rude. But anyway, you know, they drop the Sims drop the card in exactly the same places, 2 decks in, so you're playing with 6 decks. And for a card counter, that's mildly infuriating and perhaps extremely maddening. But to me, it doesn't matter at all, because I don't set any store by card counting whatsoever. And in fact, in this latest Jason sample, I just stopped bothering with the card count. I mean, it's way past me being, well, I'm beyond skeptical. It just doesn't flipping well work, you know. I mean, you go up here, and then we go over to the far side over here, and we see that Mr. HP lost 94,195 against a positive deck value, won 38,394 against a negative deck value, and won another 42,600 against a neutral deck value. And over here, similar story for pattern betting, or double or drop as I prefer to call it now. 9,650 lost against a positive DV, 58,425 won, and 92,588 won against a neutral, you know, just nothing, nil, null, you know. So this is what it's about. Anyway, this is the win-loss pattern for Jason, and he was on a nice little ride up here for a while. You know, the cards were being kind to him, the shoes were soft, then slam down here, and then another slam down here. He had this little boost, and these guys, I mean, all of them, they make money when they win more hands than they lose. but they get their asses kicked. You know, I mean, what's that other funny expression they like? He got his hat handed to him or something like, I don't know, whatever. I think that goes back to Damon Runyon or whatever. But you know, they all lose a fortune if they lose more bets than they win. Meanwhile, my whole sort of thing is to bet in such a way that losing more bets than I win doesn't hurt me. And I've proven it again and again and again with blackjack, with baccarat, and all I can do is just keep throwing it up there because, I mean, you know, I'm having a good time now. This is my life, at least temporarily, you know, I mean, until I'm tired of it, basically. That's what it's going to be, until I'm absolutely exhausted. But right now, I just want the word out. I want people to understand, don't waste your money if you don't have a lot of it and a plan that you are willing to follow calmly, coolly, in a highly disciplined manner, or within certain sort of parameters, which I've talked about in the demos many times. But the most important thing is soberly. Do not accept free alcohol. It is designed to make you even more stupid than when you first sat down. Never forget that.